Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. I'm gonna tell you what, and it's gonna be short. This ain't gonna be a long one. This is short and to the point. Build your savings. You gotta build your savings out here now more than ever. If you one of those people who are blessed to still have a regular job, be it essential or your business is going real well, throw that money into savings. Cut back. Even though they still need even though there's still, you still want to have some basics you want to spend money on, like food and everything. The way things are, you need to cut back. You need to build that savings. Even if you're not making that much, you barely making ends meet, you put a few dollars away. It could add up real quick. You never know when you might need it. You might need, you might need it just to get some food. Because the way things are, it's going to get worse before it gets better. People think it was going to be some V-shaped recovery or something. It's like, no, because so many businesses are going out. I was walking through my local mall yesterday from when I'm recording this with my sons. And I was like, wow, look at it, how many of these stores. There were two stores that were going to have going out of business sales. Two stores. And there was already plenty of empty stores. And that was before the Rona. Because this particular mall had a Sears. That thing is closed. This is major. And that affects a lot. So if you still making money, you don't know what's going to happen. Save it. It's unfortunate, too, because if people saving a lot of money, that means they're not putting it into the economy. And that actually, believing that, that's making things worse. Honestly, and this is a tangent, they might have to seriously consider universal basic income and to keep it flowing. They might have to seriously even if it's just a temporary measure, just to keep things flowing. I don't know how that's going to work. And honestly, if they actually do go with that, that's pretty much permanent. But we'll see. We'll see. A lot of people got something against it. I ain't going to get into the debate. But I'm just saying right now, you got to build your savings as much as possible. Think about what you can do to build your savings. Do you really need to eat at all those fancy restaurants? I mean, it's enough now. They starting to close down anyway, so you're going to have to cook at home. Figure out where you can cut off spending so much money. Put that money away. I make a habit of putting a certain amount into my savings, because one of the things is, and many rich people have said this, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. And see, once my money goes into a savings, only time it comes out, well, really for taxes. That's the only time it'll come out, or a major purchase. Like when I put money away, like the past year, they only came out for taxes and I needed money for another car. But other than that, once I put it in there, I don't touch it. Even if I gotta be real skimpy on food until I get paid again, I'll do it. And see, one of the things with the savings, you have to be as disciplined as possible not to dip into it, but for emergency. And that's what it's for. Seriously, that's what it's for. It's tough. Now, one of the things you might have to do, if you might have to cut back, you might have to ask yourself, do you really need all those streaming services? A lot of stuff, because that's one of the things. Or, do you really need that alcohol? Or you might have to cut back on smoking or something, some addiction. You got to find every single way that you can save extra money. Because I'm going to tell you what, one issue with a lot of people is that all they do is spend. They spend a lot of money on, when I was working retail, we would call them tchotchke gifts. I'll say tchotchke items, impulse items. Like if you're in a grocery store, they have all the magazines, little snacks right up there in the checkout line. Even if you do self-checkout, right? That's to get you to spend it, right? But you'd be surprised if you cut out a lot of stuff, a lot of the tchotchke stuff, cut back on where you eating. You don't need to be as fly. I know some ladies here that's like, ladies, you don't always need an extra pair of shoes. Ain't too many places you're going now with them anyway. Cut back as much as possible. Like one of the things I do, and I ain't gonna lie, I make a lot of money. But once I feed the savings, I'm still figuring out, okay, how can I put more in? And even during the month, I pay myself first when I, get money from several sources around the beginning of the month, and that's like from different subscription places. I got paid the previous month. I hit the savings first, got out money for to pay the bills, got that all budgeted and everything, and I just let it flow. And then when it gets around the end of the month, I see what I got left. I put that into my savings. I'm very meticulous about building it. Everybody needs to be, because you never know, and especially nowadays if you have a job. Because the reality is, you never know when that job's gonna go, or you never know when there's gonna be a cut in business. I talked about that in my last podcast. You never know. Like, I'm pretty good now, but I never know when it'll get to the point I'm not bringing in as much money. You never know. People might say, you know what, Ron? That's some serious stuff. It looked like you're talking about in that on-demand video, but I can't afford it. And that's cool. That's cool. That's understandable. But I got my savings ready for it. I got my savings ready for it. And you have to build it. Now, here's the thing about a savings. Build it anyway. I remember before I really got into social media and doing videos and everything, and all I had was my books, just regular book sales, and a day job. And it was tight at first. I ain't gonna lie, it was tight. But I would just put a little bit away. Every time I get paid on my day job, every time I got some money on my business, after I took care of bills, I put some away. I would put something away, to the point where, if something come up sudden, it was like, boom. Like, the one thing is, there's always this talk about most Americans, even before the Rona, before this crisis, couldn't afford a $400 emergency. I ain't gonna say most. But the numbers I saw were anywhere from 40 to 60%, depending on where you say it. Let's just say most couldn't afford a $400 emergency. And I'm not judging. I'm not going to judge them on that, because I don't know their particular situations. But you want to at least get to that point. You want to work to get to that point, because it could be pitiful. Like, when I see somebody driving around and they got a scratched up car and all of that, I already know it's like, okay, they didn't have that 500 to fix it, or whatever it took to fix it. 500, that's usually the deductible. Like, the insurance will take care of it, because you got to have insurance, but you still got to have a deductible. That means a lot. So build your savings, no matter what. Build your savings. You don't know what's coming, even if everything's successful for you now. I'm going to tell you what, if everything going well for you, you got money, you got extra money, you can ball out, definitely build your savings. You have no excuse. I can give some leeway to a person who barely making ends meet and they can't really put anything to their savings. Or they might put some but have to dip into it the next week or something. I can understand that. But if you're making extra money, you better have a savings, because you never know. You never know. The way things are out here, boom. So anyway, that's all I got for now, y'all. Yeah. Keep that money. Peace and blessings.